Hey everyone, if you're looking for a compressor that can handle serious work without breaking a sweat, you've probably seen this one popping up everywhere lately, the 2475N7.5-V 7.5 horsepower 80-gallon two-stage compressor. It's getting a lot of attention from DIYers and pros alike, so I wanted to take a closer look and see if it's really worth the hype. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let me tell you, this thing is built to last. We're talking about a 7.5 horsepower motor paired with an 80-gallon tank, which means it can run longer and recover faster than most single-stage compressors. If you've ever used a smaller compressor and had to wait forever for it to catch up, you'll appreciate how this one keeps up with continuous use. Whether you're running air tools like impact wrenches or framing nailers, it delivers consistent pressure without bogging down. I tested it with a few different tools, and even after 20 minutes of straight use, it didn't even blink. Another thing that stands out is how quiet it runs compared to other compressors in this class. I know, compressors aren't usually known for being whisper quiet, but this one is surprisingly low on noise. I ran it in my garage while working on a project, and it wasn't nearly as intrusive as I expected. That's a big deal if you're working in a shared space or just don't want to deal with the constant drone of a loud machine. Now, let's talk about maintenance because nobody wants a compressor that's a headache to keep running. The 2475N7.5-V is designed to be easy to service. The oil fill and drain are straightforward, and the components are laid out in a way that makes routine checks simple. I've had compressors where even changing the oil felt like a chore, but this one? Not so much. It's the kind of thing that saves you time and frustration down the road. One of the biggest perks for me was the flexibility it offers. The two-stage design means it compresses air in 2 steps, which not only improves efficiency but also gives you better control over pressure. That's especially useful if you're working with sensitive tools or need precise airflow. I used it for both high-demand tasks like sandblasting and more delicate work like painting, and it handled both without any issues. I also appreciate that it comes with a 2-year warranty. Compressors are a big investment, so having that kind of coverage is reassuring. It shows the manufacturer stands behind their product, which is always a good sign. Plus, the build quality feels solid, no flimsy plastic parts or cheap finishes. It's clear they put some thought into making this thing durable. Now, I won't pretend it's perfect. It's pretty heavy, so moving it around isn't something you'll want to do often. If you don't have a permanent spot for it, you might need a dolly or some help getting it into place. Also, while it's quieter than most, it's still not silent. If you're in a small apartment or a noise-sensitive environment, you might want to consider that. All in all, this compressor is a solid choice if you need power, reliability, and a little extra quiet. It's not the cheapest option out there, but when you factor in the performance and the warranty, it's easy to see why it's getting so much attention. If you're in the market for a new compressor, this one's definitely worth a look. Check it out using the link below, and let me know in the comments what you think. For most buyers, the real question is not whether 2475N7.5-V 7.5 horsepower 80 gallons two-stage compressor, 230 thirds, sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like long life and maximum power and flexibility actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like 2475N7.5-V 7.5 horsepower 80 gallons two-stage compressor, 230 thirds, usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.